water.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a clear white glass and I put tap water in the glass and I said, see? I held it up at the window and they're like, oh crap, and you drink that stuff? I said, opened up the top of my water system and I poured it in there and they said, well, does that get that stuff out? And I said, come here. I put it in front of the light and you can see the crap in the top and the no crap in the bottom. And they said, wow. And so maybe, I don't know. I don't know if they'll buy one, but they were real interested in it and drank some of the water and said it was the best tasting water they'd ever tasted.
Probably ought to send one of the short videos on the water for them. Nikin has a really good one that's, I don't
I'll
know.
have to get their email. I don't have their email address. I'll have to get it.
Yeah. Well, anytime, this is a teachable moment. Anytime somebody is wow about something, you immediately get their email and their telephone number and say, I want to send you something so you can learn a little bit more. Because getting that email, that's golden.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah.
All righty. I don't think Cece will be on tonight. She is not feeling well. I talked with her earlier in the day. She's
still not better.
Yeah. Well, her autoimmune kind of goes up and down. I mean, she's got.
Well, I know it does, but she hadn't been feeling good now for a little while.
Yeah, it's been 4 weeks. I think she probably needs an iron infusion. She hadn't had one in a year, and that's a long time to go without it. With what she's got going on. So, well, I wanted to talk to you all tonight about better selling through storytelling, and I sent you all the book. Did everybody get it?
I don't think I did. I looked back on my email and I could not find it.
See, I'm wondering, she thought that as long as you hadn't signed up that I could send it to you. And I thought if I'd ever sent any of you a book before that you couldn't do it. So I sent it out to all of you and then I looked up and it didn't say anything about that you couldn't. So I sent it. Well, we'll work on it. But anyway, I want to talk to you a little bit. John Livesey, the guy who wrote this, the person that did the foreword says that John is a child of an abundance generation. Now we hear about scarcity generations, but an abundant generation is not a set demographic with the age, race, or regional context. It's a way of thinking. And for John, things are more valuable as they become abundant. Now, most of us grew up with what we call a scarcity mindset. And that's a lot of people that grew up, like my grandmother came out of the Depression, and they're everywhere. And this generation sees value where there's scarcity. If there's high demand and low supply equals higher prices and profit. The world is ruled by supply and demand, and they see the pie of life as shrinking. Keep it close to your vest is their prevailing wisdom. Fear is the primary tool in the scarcity mindset, and faith is the dominant asset in the abundant mindset. And I'm not taking anybody's inventories, but I just want you to think about that, because if you're coming at life from a scarcity mindset, you're going to make different choices from when you come from life with an abundance mindset. And truly, we're more generous when we come from an abundant mindset. If we believe that there will be plenty, and those of us that are of faith, I really believe that was Jesus's teaching. Now, John Livesey has looks at things a lot from a lifeguard perspective, because he did that when he was a teenager. And when he first became a lifeguard, there was a young woman that jumped in the pool, and he looked and she didn't come up, and he jumped in. And he said, being prepared and know what you're supposed to do is one of the most important things. He said his lifeguard training taught him to stay calm, not panic. And so when he dived in after this little girl, Sophie, who was drowning, he had the process in mind. And the process was reach, throw, row, tow, and go. And that's exactly what he did with this young woman, and he saved her life. Now, there are 3 steps that you have to take if you're going to be your own lifeguard. And I'm telling you, as a therapist, I tell people all along, you know what? Your parents did the best that they could do. They gave you all they could. And if they didn't give you enough, it's because they didn't know how. But you're an adult now. And if you hadn't gotten everything from your parents you need, it's time to parent yourself. And the same is true in being your lifeguard. There are 3 steps, he says, that you have to go through if you're going to be your lifeguard. First, don't bury your head in the sand. You know, you got to look out and see what's coming and be looking for opportunities. You've got to combine your instinct with your intellect. You know, all of us have those gut feelings like, you know, this feels good. You know, well, if it feels good, what are you going to do along with that? And you've got to get out of your comfort zone and move into the learning zone. And I really believe that most of us, and me included, you know, the comfort zone is a warm and cozy place. But warm and cozy doesn't always get you where you want to go. And if you stay warm and cozy too long, what ends up happening is the world changes and then you're cold for a long time. Because everything in our world is always changing. And I like the things he said about the book. What he talks about is there are 5 rungs on a ladder that you're going to be climbing when you want to share and sell these products. And the first rung is invisible. The second rung is insignificant. The third rung is interesting. The fourth rung is intriguing, and the 5th one is irresistible. And he's going to go into that a little bit more and how storytelling goes into that. But he always says this book is right for you if you're looking for a new way to sell without getting burned out. Most of us don't want to be burned out. If you think of yourself as a perfectionist and tend to take rejection personally. You have hit some ups and downs and need new ways to break the cycle so you can keep hitting your goals. Or you want new ways to stand out from your competition. You want to win back a client you lost, or you had your best year ever and were wondering how to increase that in the next year and the year after. So that's what he's looking for. Seth Godin said that marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, but about the stories that you tell. And somebody tell me what you think that means.
I think if you tell a story and you're genuine and, you know, it's something that's good or something that's done good for you, I think it draws people in, and I think that draws their interest. That's just my thought on it.
Exactly. And I'm gonna use an example. So I have a Niken waterfall that I want you to take a look at. And it is a great water purifier. It has 5 levels of filtration. It filters down to 0.01 microns. It has a magnetic spigot that energizes the water. It has rocks that put in minerals. It has it also has infrared in it. It creates a pH of 8.5 to 9.5. Another way I could say that is, do you know somebody who's interested in having cleaner water, and do they really know what it can mean to them? I've got this Niken waterfall, and it's a water filter. And I used to have a lot of problems with my gut. And I'll be honest, I drank a lot of Diet Mountain Dew, which really isn't good for me. And I just kind of got sicker and sicker, and I just couldn't stand the taste of water. So I kept drinking those Mountain Dews, and I kept getting sicker and sicker. And then a doctor told me about these products from Japan that I didn't know about. And I got a water filtration system. and that water was so tasty. And when I would swallow it, it just felt good on the inside. And I started drinking that water and gave up the soft drinks. And I got so much energy and it felt so good. And I tell you, I've saved so much money because I don't buy those crazy soft drinks anymore. And I just pour the tap water in it. And I've got all this energy and more money too. Now, which time did that waterfall sound more interesting to you?
When you told your story.
That's right. And it doesn't have to be your story. It can be somebody else's story. If you don't have a story, borrow a story. You tell a story that you say, I heard a friend that was telling me about, what happened to them. Because that touches the people on an emotional level.
Mm-hmm.
When you paint a picture and people can see themselves in that story, you have an emotional engagement with them. And they want to go on the journey with you. They want to have that experience. So when you're thinking about your story, the first part of it is the exposition, and that's the who, what, where, and when. And you paint a picture to people, envision the scenes. And so, I've got the waterfall, and where was I at? I was pretty sick and I was doing a lot of bad things for myself. And then somebody introduced me to this, and I told you about the water and what it was like. So you want to give those facts. You don't want to make it go on forever, but you want to be clear with it. And then there's the problem. What's the problem? Well, I had a bad gut. And you notice when I say I had a bad gut, did I make any kind of medical diagnosis or talk about anything like that? No.
Yeah.
I felt crummy. That is not a medical, So that was the problem. Well, the solution was to hydrate myself. And I didn't like the taste of the water. So I got this water filter, and the water tastes so good, and it felt good when I drank it. And I will tell you that when my gut's messed up, when I drink that water, it feels good. That's right. Kathy says an experience outweighs an argument. Absolutely. And then the resolution. Well, I liked it so much that I started selling these. Because I want everybody to have this experience. So, what you want to do is, and Barbara, the guy that's doing the website for her, he's got her creating the stories that are going to go with each of her products on that website. Those stories are what is going to get people excited. Mark Twain said that you can't depend on your eyes when your imagination is out of focus. So what are you focusing on? If you're not clear on who you want to help and the problems you want to solve for them, then they're not going to get interested in you. So you want to be really clear. What do I want to do? I want to help people live a better life. And I'm always listening to hear what they've got going on. But I've got to be clear about what I'm offering. And the customer has got to be able to visualize themselves using the product and having the same experience that I've had if they're going to say yes. So the story helps them with that. And then you say, so you got a bad gut too. What difference would it make for you if you had this water system and you drank this water and you had more energy and it felt good? What would you be doing? You want to get them to see their own story. And you want them to be the hero in their story, because it's their choice that's going to make them the hero. They've got to see themselves going on the same journey that your story went on. And if they trust you and like you, then they'll be happy to go along that with them. So don't be afraid to tell them, that this is helpful and that you think it'll help them. The concept of becoming a storyteller and figuring out what the story is allows you to sell yourself. Here's why I'm passionate about working here. Here's why I'm passionate about sharing these products. Here's why I'm passionate about our water. And then the next thing you do is you sell yourself and you tell the story. And then the last thing you do is sell the product. What if you didn't have to have that? What would it be like if you had that water? So you want to be really clear, but the emotional connection is almost the most important piece. Hang on a minute. So when you tell a story about another client or yourself that's been helped, include a talk trigger of why that person was so happy. Well, why was I so happy? I mean, I was sick. I couldn't hardly walk. I couldn't do the things I liked. I couldn't do stuff with my kids. They were telling me I was going to have to go on disability. And I used these products and I got better. And then I was able to teach other people how to get better. Now, there's 4 genres to stories. The first one is the rags to riches, and that's the Cinderella story. And I'll tell you that a man was sworn in today to be our president. And for people who really like him, one of the things they like about Joe Biden is a rags to riches story. His daddy was a steel worker, and he had trouble keeping a job. And they moved, I forget, 5 or 6 times while Joe was growing up, which is not a happy thing for a kid. And we're not talking about moving across town. They moved, different states and everything because his dad couldn't keep a job. And yet he grew up and went to law school and became a politician and has been in service to the country all these years. So that's a rags to riches. And I mean, when I heard the other day, I think he paid $300,000 in income tax last year. So from the little boy whose daddy couldn't keep a job, he did pretty well in life. He earned well. And people like that. The next genre is the journey or the quest. And if any of you have ever seen Lord of the Rings, where Frodo's epic journey and he is trying to get to the ring, and it's the pursuit of perfection. That's the story of pursuit, and you're just going on this journey to get somewhere, something that you really want to achieve. The next one is the rebirth, and a rebirth. The classic for that is It's a Wonderful Life. And I suspect everybody on here has seen A Wonderful Life. It's one of my favorites. I watch it usually several times during the year. But, here's this man that everything is just going down the hoppers, and he is feeling like he wants to kill himself. And he has this magical experience with the angel, and he has a new life. That just completely changes his life. And then the last one is deciding to go on a trip, and that's The Wizard of Oz. Now, what would have happened if Dorothy had just done what Annie M said and gone into the cellar? Well, she'd have never traveled to Oz, and there wouldn't be a story. So I'm going to give you some homework for this week. I want you to write your Nikan story, and I want you, to think about which one of those genres you want it to be. Is it a quest? Was it a rebirth? Whatever it was. And I want you to be prepared to share it next week. Now, it's got to be short. You want to be able to do it in, about 2 minutes. And you want to have emotion with it. And I'll tell you an example of borrowing a story. So on Sunday, one of my little 80-some-year-old clients called, and she said, Kimball, I'm just not getting out of bed. Her husband has died, and she's very depressed. And I said, you got to get out of bed. She says, I've got pressure sores now. And I'm like, oh, gosh. And I had a bull that they had plants. And I said, and she says, well, I'm on my grounding pad. What else could I do? And I said, Sarah, you bought some tape. Have you used any tape? Well, I don't know if I could do it for that. I said, well, I've got 2 stories, Sarah. And I shared 2 stories. The first story I borrowed from Celia, Cece. And I borrowed that story from Cece because she had this situation with her grandfather who was dying, who had stopped eating, who wanted to die, but they put that tape on him and the pressure sores healed up in a week without him even eating. That's pretty amazing to me as a nurse that they healed up, because I was like, if he's not eating, it's not going to heal, Cece. Well, it did. And then I told the story of Renzo, who gets these awful boils, and he puts the tape over the boil, and the infection inside will come out, will ooze out of the tape. He says it's absolutely gross. I said, well, seems like that's a lot better than being cut open. But it oozes out. And I said, so you could use that. So she had some tape. And so she used, on Monday morning, she called and she says, Kimball, I've got to have more tape. So I got in my car and I drove the 45 minutes over to her house and I left 2 rolls of tape. So you can, it doesn't have to be your story. Knowing the different genres and ways to tell a compelling story will help you be more effective, and it's going to separate you out from your competition. And that's what in sales it's all about, is standing out. You don't have to compete with your competition. You just want to tell the best story. So, and part of that story is going to take you, we talked about the realms and we'll talk more about this next week, is you start out as invisible. And that's like, you're Shirley who? Insignificant is, yeah, I saw you, but only because my eyes were open. Interesting is, tell me more. Intriguing is, I'm leaning in so much that I'm about to spill my drink, but I want to know the how, what you're offering, and will it work for me? And then the irresistible is, where do I sign to get that? And at the end of the stories, when I was talking to my gal, she wanted the tape. She was going to go. I said, well, I think you've got some of that tape. So she got the tape out and it helped. So then she knew she needed more tape. So she called me back. But I didn't tell her about the far infrared and how it would work or any of that. I told 2 really nice stories about people who had 2 different problems, one with a boil, one with pressure sores, and how that same product helped with both of those, with the discomfort and also with the healing. And I told her, I can't promise you, but I'm pretty sure that this is going to work for you. And I am. I mean, I've never heard anybody put that tape on and they didn't heal up whatever they put it on. So, I mean, it doesn't mean that there won't ever be anybody, but I'm telling you, that's going to be the short list. So next week, I'm going to be looking forward to hearing your stories. And has anybody got a problem or a question or anything we could bat around tonight that would help them
I
out?
have a question.
Sure.
My new consultant that signed up today
Woo! Go, Barbara!
ordered a air filter, and they don't think they got their 20% off, but they ordered it wholesale.
Okay.
And so I said, I don't know. I'll have to ask Kimball.
The 20% price is what is in the computer. So if they ordered it they got it the 20% off.
Okay, well, I'll let them know that then. Because, I mean, it was definitely a huge difference between.
Now, wait a minute. Now, they're not getting they ordered the filter for the thing, or they ordered the whole machine?
No, the filter, the replacement filter, because of the filters being on special right now.
Yeah, they are, everything is in the machine on special.
Already the 20% off.
That's already the 20% off.
Okay, so after the end of the month, it'll go back up to regular price.
After the end of February.
February.
Well, that's what they were asking, because they said they didn't see when they checked out where it gave them the 20% off of the filter. And I said, I don't know. Let me ask him. I don't know.
It's already in there.
Okay. Because I'm going to order mine too before the sale goes off, just so that I have an extra filter for everything. I think that would be the smart thing to do.
Yeah. The filter for the air system will last a full year, but I mean, they're not going to put, my suspicion is that this is going to be they're offering the very same special at the very same time they did last year.
Right.
Right.
And
But
they do-
I'm saying I should probably go ahead and get an extra, since I already have my filtration system.
That's
if I
right.
go ahead and buy a backup filter, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to go
You'll
bad. if I
have
buy
it, and then next year you'll buy your next backup the same time. I will
Right.
tell you that I know from Latin America that they have specials that they run at certain times of the year, every single year. Now there's ups and there's downs to that, because people are going to buy those filters when they go on special.
Right.
And that's, but they may hold off at other times. So you got
It's
to,
also a good time to reach out to a customer that has stuff that will need a filter. That's the time you reach out to them, so that they'll buy.
and you need to keep a list of your customers and keep a list of what they bought, because then you know. And Shirley, you've got a bunch of people that have bought water systems that you want to reach out to and see if they don't want to get new filters. You've got
Well, and the rocks too, because
Yeah.
they've got rocks are on there too.
Melvin and oh gosh, your gal that's a cancer survivor.
Gladys doesn't have hers anymore. I wound up with it.
Okay.
She won't using it. She said, I need to sell it. So I wound up with it.
Oh wow.
She was afraid her mama would pour too much water in it like she did when they first got it.
Oh, Lord.
Lord have mercy.
But Elizabeth just got a filter right before she moved.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't, reach out to her, but since she just bought one, she's probably not gonna want one yet.
Catch up with Melvin and find out what he's up to and if he wants one.
Yeah, Betty's gonna have to help me get in touch with him, because I don't have him in my phone
I think
anymore.
I do. I
Yeah.
think I
Could
do.
be in your customer list.
Well, yeah, you're probably right.
Go back to your customer list, and you can actually send out an email to everybody in your customer list. If you wanted, you could take the emails that I send you and you could copy them, paste them in there, and then change whatever you want, and it would send it out to your whole customer list. And it's my understanding they're going to have a little bit better system. I choose to put them in an outside system because I just want to have them. I mean, what's going to happen when the new system goes up? You're only going to have people that have ordered from you for the last 2 years. I've got people in a separate, I won't lose anybody because I've already got mine in something else. So I will tell you that you may want to go back. I would go in there to that customer list and I would get every bit of that information, and I would either put it in a spreadsheet or I would put it in a contact manager, because you don't ever know. I had somebody that ordered something last week that hadn't ordered anything since 2016. So
I use Outlook. So if anybody has the Microsoft Suite, I can teach them how to set databases up for their contact list in Outlook. It's easy if they have that. If not, it's simple. Do a spreadsheet or get a composition book and write them down if you have to, or do index cards.
Okay. Kathy, what do you want?
Shirley and Betty took out an
Yeah.
ad. It's just gorgeous. And I'm trying to,
Oh, wow. That is gorgeous.
And I suggested to Shirley that maybe as she's talking to people, that she would say, "Oh, I just took out an ad. I have an ad running in the paper this week, and I'm just so excited about it. It's so pretty," and kind of guide people toward it, maybe.
Oh, that's
Uh,
a very good idea, Kathy. Excellent idea. I agree, Shirley. You and Betty need to be doing that.
Neither one of us have had any calls from our ad.
Well, when did it start running?
Sunday.
It was just in the paper one day.
Okay.
That was all it was supposed to be, but it was supposed to be online for 10 days.
Okay.
And you got a lot of people that do the paper online anymore, but
Well, I would go on my Facebook page and tell people about it and put the link where they can go and look at it.
Put it on Instagram, put it on. I just did a thing today on social media online. Oh my God. I took screenshots, but I gotta process it all first, but I can help y'all with a lot of that. Because that's the whole thing was about the social media platforms and how to post, when to post, how many times to post, blah, blah, blah.
Who'd you do it with?
The chamber did it. They had somebody train. I'm an ambassador. And they
Mhm.
had an ambassador training about how we promote the chamber, and we're talking about the different social media platforms of how to promote your business, and also how we could help promote businesses through the chamber on the platforms. It was
Cool.
pretty good. It was really good. I mean, it was a
That
outside
sounds
company
good.
that did it.
That sounds like a good one. Yes, Kathy?
so, what would it be like? What would you suggest that how they would bring it up as they call their people?
I'd say, hey, do you get the Sunday paper? And if they say yes, then say, I put an ad in and I want you to take a look at it and see what you think about it. I thought it was really pretty, but I want some feedback and I know you'll be honest with me.
Well, another good thing to say too is, I put this ad in the paper and I want to see if you get what it is that I'm looking for in the ad. Because if they do, that's a good thing. If they understand what the purpose is of the ad. And if not, they might be able to give you some feedback as to how you need to change it.
Yep, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah. Not to mention, then they'll look at it and they'll be a little bit more critical because they're going to look at it to critique it, to help you. So that's the thing about it, because I always do that with people. I used to be an IT recruiter, y'all. So whenever I would look at a resume and you looked at the job, this is the way you got to think about it. The job you're looking for to fill, what does it say? What are the things that you're looking for? So then the ad you place need to have those things for a description so that you're targeting that right person.
Mhm.
So it's the same kind of thing. So when you post that ad, you want somebody that reads it to know exactly what you're looking for.
Well, now that they've invested like this, I'm just wondering, is that ad something that they could actually put on Facebook on their business page?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
You
what
can
I said. That I said
Instagram.
earlier that they should put something on Facebook and ask people to go. I mean, they can put the link that where they can go to it. Because it's going to be online for 10 days.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just so proud of them because it was such a great looking ad. But when I do an ad, I don't always have the results I want. But I think you keep working it. Maybe you find ways.
Well, I mean, it's all about how much, and you all have got to find there's some kind of networking, something going on up there. There's got to be. And you all have got to get involved in that so that because people don't know what you're doing. That's the problem. You don't have enough visibility.
Yeah, because I'm networking like crazy right now, and I'm networking all over the place. Florida. I mean, people that are on these meetings I'm on are from all over the place. And that's where it's out. And it's amazing how many people like a Zoom I was on last night. It was this lady's networking Zoom. It was at 7:00. there was a lady from Delaware, there was some from Florida, there was a couple from North Carolina, and they were introducing me to people from North Carolina. And one girl lives in Chapel Hill, not 20 miles from me. But I don't know her. I've never met her on any other networking platform, but I met her last night. That's
Yeah.
what's so cool. And you never know who you're going to meet.
No.
Yeah, just saying. And why is this thing not working? I'm trying to pop popcorn, y'all, and it's not working.
I'm eating popcorn.
Well, I just got a craving for some popcorn.
I did too.
I haven't had any, and I don't know when. So, but I bought a new microwave, and the bag doesn't fit in there, but well, it's not turning around, so I don't know. But we'll see. But no, if y'all need some help with that, Kimball, I'd be happy once I can filter through all the stuff on this thing that I just did yesterday. I'd be happy to share that with you if you want to work it and do a presentation one night to help, because it was all about social media presence and how to present it.
Sure.
That would be
Places to
good.
do it, how many times you should do it, like how many times a week or how many times a day. Because it's all about the algorithms of what Google and stuff like that like for your business.
Yep.
And like the LinkedIn. If you ladies don't have a LinkedIn page, I would tell you need a LinkedIn page.
Well, but start with one area of social media.
Right. But I mean, there's a lot of outlets. So find
Right,
what you
but
like.
like if it's going to be Facebook, and if that's what you're already on, then I'd say that's where to start.
Right.
And Shirley, that's a good picture you put up. I like that.
Sure, he took it. It shows a lot of wrinkles, but it's there.
Start using your cream. Use it as a testimonial.
Mm.
Come on. That's what I'm doing.
And I'm gonna go out on a limb and don't laugh too hard at me. But the in the Bible it talks about giving a tenth. You give a tenth of your time, you give a tenth of your tithe, of your income. So whatever you're posting, if we're posting something faith-based, then that should be 1/10. That's how many more times we need to be posting about NECAN.
Yeah.
Think about that. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny and facetious, but we give a tenth and we commit our tenth to the Lord, and the rest of it, He's going to bless us in other ways too. Boy, it's quiet.
It gives us something to think about. It gives us something to think about. Well, anybody got anything else tonight before we call it an evening?
Can't think of anything.
All right. Well, you know that Saturday, I sent the thing today. They're going to have the NECAN. So sign up for that. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and a really good thing. So, well,
I
look.
will if I'm not with my boy.
Yeah.
Oh, yep. Well, if you're with your boy, you hadn't seen him in a long time. I understand.
I have it on my calendar in
Okay.
case, but if I have a choice of him
Well,
or that,
you need to go ahead and sign up for it. You don't have, if it works that way, you can't be on, that's fine, but you need to sign up so that you got the link and all for it.
I think I did because I wrote it on my calendar, and I don't think I'd have put it on my calendar if I didn't sign up for it.
Well,
All right.
you can check your
Thank you,
emails for
Shirley.
your confirmation,
Yes. Check your email for the confirmation.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks to Shirley, I'm signed up. She called and reminded me, and I just did it right then while I had her. So
Shirley is a great teammate. She is
She is.
absolutely amazing. We are very
Natural born
fortunate to have her.
she's
She
a natural.
reminds me of everything. I don't see stuff a lot of times. So
Hey,
I'm thankful.
Don't
Well,
forget.
I don't work and she does, so I try to help keep her on task.
Oh,
I
yeah.
appreciate it.
Don't forget Humans Being More is coming up January 30th.
Right.
With Saturn White. I'm signed up for that too.
Oh, good. Enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, thank you for the call tonight.
All right. See you guys later.
Thank y'all.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.